Welcome back to Get With The Programming. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
Sad times, Bill. Sad times. Yeah, sad times. Semifinals are over.
Oh, well, sort of. Not really.
Oh, we almost over. We've got one last chance.
Yeah.
One last chance.
You know what I have to say? Like, I was really so far. This has been the most fun week for me.
Yeah,
by far. Like, and I don't mean like the competition has been great, and the races and stuff have been good, but like some of the most cool stories.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Briggs, Danny Horan, dude. That shit that she did at the competition was really fucking cool.
Sam or Danny or both?
Well, I mean, like I'm really like Sam's is kind of like that's what you see. You want to see the best of the best going out there with a lot of integrity and a lot of that kind of stuff. And it's like, she hung the shoes, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Horan, the way she did it, was super. I love the fact that it wasn't the normal way and it was her way. And she put all the weights away and stacked all the stuff up, and I just thought that was super cool. What's up, Yvette? Glad you're here.
Hey, everybody. Who do you like to move?
Thanks for coming to the Instagram lives too. Did you see us check that out?
Oh yeah, I did. I saw that.
See that?
I saw that. Oh, let's see. All right. So, hey, recapping the weekend, 3 events: Copa Sur, Atlas Games, and Strength and Depth. I found a lot of surprises, which we'll get to, in a lot of different ways, which was interesting. Dick Butter, no, still not canceled. Not yet. I'm trying though. I'm trying really hard. I don't remember watching. Like, I watch regionals and the sanctioned events and everything else, but like, I watched so much CrossFit over the weekend. It was crazy. And I can't imagine how much more I would have watched if the Copa Sur, if I spoke Portuguese.
Right. Yeah, for me, actually, like, I had a lot of stuff happening, so I was doing like the catch-up game. So I was watching a lot of the highlights and a lot of the after it was already shown, and I was going back and I was jumping all over the place on the YouTube broadcast just to catch up with all of it, because the stories just like there were a lot of surprises. There was a lot, like I said, a lot of really cool stories that were. Honestly, much more exciting and kind of grabbed you from the guts more than the other weeks, which is rad.
Well, yeah, it was awesome. And the crazy thing that we have again is that we have these races that come down to the end. And I remember having like good races in a regional here or there, or a sanctioned event. It feels like we got one at every semifinal, maybe not every single division. But it was, I'm not used to this.
Yeah.
This many close, tight races across the board. And I was talking to Adrian Conway about it a little bit yesterday. And I think it's just the evolution of the sport is that now the depth of field is just getting so good, as opposed to it's like, yeah, these are your top 4. And then, people will piddle around here and maybe the programming will get the 5th person. Be like, now everybody's good. There's some great, but there's a lot of good out there. And I think that was manifested in all the tight races we had.
Well, and we've seen, over the last handful of years where that line, that pick line has always been there, and it would always land on somebody. But there was a massive spread between, the who was going and who wasn't going. You had your handful up at the top. You had your 3 that were good, and they did their thing, which is cool. But you're right. Now we have like basically 10 athletes that are all battling hard for that
Mhm.
spot. And so those points get very, 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 I mean, they're heavy. Every single event matters. And so you really can't afford to lose in an event. I mean, I saw someone posted up here, is 6 events enough? That's a good question. I mean, because you could have these top 5 finishes and then all of a sudden have one really bad event and you are, you're tightrope in that line now.
Yeah.
It makes, as far as spectating goes, it makes for some really exciting stuff.
I think 6 events is enough, but the caveat is depending on the programming. And that's where when we put so much emphasis on, okay, this was a little off, this isn't, the time frame, the redundancy here, there's a lot of pulling. When there's only 6, the priority of the programming being on point is vital.
Well, and then also all the qualifying spots up until that. That's why the programming, it's not programming an event. It's not even, it's not programming a competition. It's the beginning to the end program. That's why, what was great about having Dave there, and this is a weird year because of all the transition and who's doing it this time and that time or whatever. But at least we knew when Dave was doing it, there was a plan. He looked at the whole season, the
Right.
Open, the quarterfinals, the semis, the games. And you're right. So is 6 a good enough number? Yeah, I think it is a fine number as well at this point, but
Mhm.
it also is dependent on, did the qualifiers up to this point get the right people to this 6 so that we can use our programming to pick the right 6 to get, they're the right 5 to get to the games.
Yeah, and,
You're
and
right.
that goes.
I think 6 is fine. Shit, could you imagine if it was more than that? Shit.
Oh, I think 6 is great. It's always been 6. Sometimes there's that weird 7th. They've had that at regionals back in the day as well. And that goes in the side of having standardized programming, is because now you can control the entire environment. It's like, okay, this is our open group, and then this is our quarterfinal group, and then this is our semifinal group. And the programming has been evolving as the test evolves until we get to the CrossFit Games, which is a breadth of tests between like 13 to 15 events, which allows you to do more niche tests as long as each variable gets touched.
Right.
But I think 6 events is perfectly fine if the programming is obviously well balanced.
Well, that's why it's so important. It's not just about, okay, throw a bunch of hard events out there. It's, you have to pick the right events. And we've seen it. I mean, last week was an example of that. Those were all great events individually, but you put them together and all of a sudden it's like, I don't know. Is my microphone low?
Uh,
I'm having a
you
little.
do sound different.
Yeah, maybe.
Bill's got some technical issues going on. Like
Yeah,
your video is weird too.
my video's way too. God dang it!
Welcome to Live Masters Podcasting, brought to you by Bill Grundler.
It's not me, man. I promise. I'm on the right things, but I don't know why I don't have a. I mean, it says. Oh fuck! Who knows?
What's up, Charlotte? Thanks for making the show. We're currently in shit show mode. Oh, one of these questions, and I'll jump on this a little bit, is, was Katrin's judge to hush, which I'm assuming means, now you got a nice little hum there. Reload your Google.
Who, me?
Just reload your Chrome and come back in.
You want me to come back in? I'll come back in.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Reload it, Bill. It was Katrin's judge to hush, which I'm assuming means not calling out enough no reps. He didn't come the next day. Is that true? I'd be curious if that is true or not. How do you know that? Listen, we all watched the competition. If you guys didn't, you can go back and watch. And obviously, athletes are always listening to their judge, and Bill is in the camp of, I'm going to go as fast as I can. And as I do that, I'm going to hope that my judge tells me what I'm doing. And so for like Katrin's sake, it's like, yes, the 50 deadlifts she did at the kettlebells in that first event were not good. But if she's trying to make up for lost time and go as fast as she can, She's just trying to go as fast as he can. There's no doubt in my mind that Katrin's not going out there and deliberately trying to cheat the movements. Did that work?
So much better.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
You look and sound much better.
Thank you very much. I feel. Oh, there we go. And I flipped that.
Yeah. So we're talking about Katrin is like, okay, people were giving Katrin crap for like the kettlebell deadlifts, which, you know, those first 50 were not great. And then obviously the bar facing burpees at the end. But a lot of the onus is that's on the judge. Because if you're trying to go as fast as you can, like Katrin needed to, because that was a bad event, especially on the muscle up side for her. And I don't blame Katrin for trying to move as fast as he can, because I don't think she's out there deliberately trying to cheat anything. And if she's like, okay, this is as fast as I can go, and the judge is like, you're good, I'm like, sweet, let's go.
I saw all the stuff that Hiller was talking about. I saw his videos. I listened to him and Sevon, you know, when they were talking about it.
Yeah.
I think that all of his arguments are completely 100% valid when you have an online qualifier, when all you have is the video to judge. Because at that point, you're going to have someone from the outside watching the movement. Live competition, it is 100%. If the judge says it's good, then it's good. And the reason I say that, and this is not a, I mean, it is the fault of the judge. And I say that lightly, because I don't say it's the fault. It's the call of the judge. If they say it's okay, period. Whether they are a paid judge, an unpaid judge, a volunteer judge, a whatever. And what that comes down to is not the fact that she was trying to cheat, or she was, as Bruce is saying, trying to test the judge.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to go fast. I mean, like we have said this many times, me and you. We know how fast can we go within the line that's allowed. And the line, the allowable line is if the judge says yes or no. If the judge says yes, then why would you change it? Why would you go? Because this whole thing about like, and I disagree with the idea of like, you know, well, when you're racing, you need to have integrity. I mean, this isn't, if that was the case, there would be no judges, because I'd go like, oh my gosh, guys, I no repped myself on that one. Sorry. I no rep. It's like, no, that's not what's happening. We're trying to go fast and we're racing. So if I'm racing, then it is up to the judge to say no rep or good rep. And if it's a bad call, it's a bad call. If someone gets in or doesn't get in, I mean, we see that in every other sport, basketball, baseball, football, everything. You'll see a bad call that either allows the team to advance or not advance. So, I mean, I'm not going to say that screw the judge. What I say is that this is now we're getting more and closer and closer and closer to, okay, sport of CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep talking about wanting to be professional, CrossFit is saying the sport needs to be professional. Well, if that's the case, treat your judges like professional judges. Otherwise, you're going to deal with these issues. And this is not that individual volunteer judge's issue, because, I mean, again, you have a head judge that is paid, that's there and making sure. And if they're looking across and they see, for the most part, nothing is going all that wrong,
Yeah,
then it's fair game. So I don't think Katrin was out there cheating. I don't think that was the case. Was she trying to ride the line? Hell yeah. Because if you're an athlete and if you don't, you're not going to go. Like, you're just not.
yeah.
I mean, just very fair can.
I put more on the, as you said, the head judge.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck are you doing?
Totally.
I've judged plenty of competitions as a head judge and putting on my own event for 7 years. And the first thing I do is watch all the athletes and then look at who's not doing something. And then I walk over there, and there's not one person out there. Right? Like, it's really easy to be like 1 through 10. That's not right. Get your ass over there and fix it. That's your job, and you're paid to do that job.
Yep.
I put more of that. I feel bad for this volunteer dude, because apparently some people are saying he didn't show up the next day and like deleted his Instagram. But yeah, Rich, you're not wrong. There's some judges that are effing terrible, and they're also volunteers, as Bruce was talking about. But you're the head freaking judge. What are you doing? It's not that hard. It's really hard in the moment. It's really hard being Katrin's judge because listen, if you're a volunteer dude, sometimes when Katrin Davisdottir gets in your lane and you're like, oh shit, it's Katrin Davisdottir. Like that's just the human part of it. I'm not excusing acting like that, but I can see how that would happen, especially with kettlebell deadlifts, which is like she's going crazy. But it's really, really easy to be on the outside looking in and be like, no, because I don't have to pay attention to this person. You can just scan the field. Why did it take 35 deadlifts to walk over there and tell her to do it right? It's ridiculous.
And everybody out there, probably, I would say, I would assume that the majority of judges that are out there have coached at some point. The head judges definitely. I know as a coach, I can scan a room of 20 people. What up, Teddy? Of 20 people that are taking a class, and out of the corner of my eye, I can see a movement that's not right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we are as coaches. Like these things that are not right, they are glaring. They pop out like a big old flash. So there's no way that if someone is going super fast on deadlifts and you don't see the shoulder coming behind, the kettlebells or the bar, whatever it is that we're talking about, you're going to see that. Like that should be like, all like, tapping you from the side of the head. So I get it. Like the person that's paid is the head judge. I mean, dude, we remember the days when Adrian would come over. You said it yourself. I will stop. If I see Adrian coming over, or Dave Eubanks is coming over, it's like, I'm going to stop. Yeah. Hey, what's up? What's happening? I'm going to wait till you leave.
Move along. I got some kettlebell swings to not get no reps.
And again, that's not cheating, but I want to play to one person. I want to play to the person that's counting my reps. That's who I'm playing to. And I've had reps that were good that were called bad. I've had reps that were bad that were let to go, and that's just part of the game. So, again, I feel bad for that judge because that judge, it's kind of a weird setup. I mean, you're hacking. You can't be in a live competition and think you're going to cheat. Like if you are allowed to get away with certain movements, that's one thing. But like nobody in a live competition, knowing that it's going to be videoed, knowing that it's going to be broadcast, knowing that you have a live judge out there watching you in front of a crowd, you're going to go, you know what? I'm totally going to cheat. You watch me. I'm only going to do 15 reps instead of 30.
Well, that's a completely different level.
Well, but that's, I mean, I don't think anyone goes out there and does that,
I get it.
Wait, hold on. What's Will? I disagree with your definition of cheating. So write up there what you think your definition of cheating is.
I'm actually
because when I think of cheating, I think that I'm trying to do less than I need to get further than what I should. Now, as an athlete, when you are trying to take the most efficient line and you're riding the line, that doesn't mean that you're cheating. That means you're trying to take the straightest line possible.
Yeah.
What's within the allowable.
This is one thing. I believe this is Travis, but Vindicate, sub bro, nice shirts. He's talking about where you put the judge. Why would you like where they put these judges sometimes is also setting them up for failure.
Totally.
Either not to be able to see it or obviously get brutalized by the public. God, the live chat there is brutal.
Totally.
Like on this rope climb, if the athletes are running this way, why are you putting the judge behind them where you can't see the front of them? Like on the legs rope climb, why are all the judges even having to be passed by an athlete to where they're looking at the back of them? They should be on the other side so that you can watch all these people clamp their damn legs together on their way up the rope.
Man, it was really listening to Tommy and Mads. Dude, Mads, it's we know when we're broadcasting that we try very hard not to hammer the judges because we'll see reps that are not good. Yeah. But they're letting it go. And I heard Mads a handful of times go, oh, so here's what the standard is. It didn't look like that, but they have a different vantage point than we do here.
That is a classic thing that we've been basically like programmed to say is like, listen, you can't just go out there and throw them under the bus. But
But
you can also just like sit there and be like, I'm not.
that's a good rep.
Yeah.
And that was a good rep.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's hard though. It's very easy as a spectator to crush the judges, because even like, and if we use other sports for the same deal, we will hammer the umpires and the referees out there. So that's kind of the name of the game. But again, I think that if you want to if we want to professionalize the sport, then you need to get people that are specific to do that, so that we don't have these issues. I mean, I feel bad. I mean, you're right. It was shitty judging. I get it. I get it. But the fact of the matter is that no one else stopped them. I mean, that judges meeting ahead of time. All right, everybody, make sure you're counting. Do not look at their face. Who cares if you have Sam Briggs and it's the last race of her career ever? Watch the rep, and I mean, to give them, to kind of give them a heads up on that. I mean, we throw them to the wolves, and these are volunteers, and that's not to say that they shouldn't be doing their job, but I just think it kind of is what it is. And to say that the athlete, to say that, one of the things that Hiller was saying was, Katrin's known to be a bad mover. Because those burpees, she's done those burpees like that for a lot of years. That rolled up. And
this is going along with what Will's saying right now.
Okay.
And this is actually a tail off topic that I've had thinking about good movers, bad movers, questionable movers. And I noticed myself doing this, not moving poorly intentionally, but okay. So here's the scenario. We've always said it's like, Matt is a no question mover. Rich is a no question mover. Tia, like you, the best that are the best, like don't have to worry about that because their fitness is just so beyond everyone else's. What I noticed myself doing is when, I first started CrossFit, like it was always about the movement, the quality of movement, the range of motion, doing things the right way. And then I started competing. And then when I started competing against people that were either different skill sets than mine or fitness levels or body types, I found that I would be at a massive disadvantage to some other athletes, whether it's like air squats or burpees or pull-ups, just totally based off my size or my fitness level. Yeah. And so in racing, I was like, okay, well, normally I would do a thruster like this, but I need to move faster. So for example, Jackie, like the thrusters I did for Jackie in 2013, I have never done like those before in my life. But since we're racing, I was like, shit, I am going to be so far behind, not because of my fitness level on these squats and presses. It's like, okay, I need to widen up my stance a little bit. I need to widen up my hands a little bit. So, okay, I cut off 6 inches of range of motion there and just get in a position where I'm just breaking below parallel and then locking out as fast as I can. Or on the pull-ups is like just getting my chin above bar. And I found that competing made me change the way I really moved. And the second thing, what was very apparent, is that then that started to affect my training. Instead of being like, all right, let's just do this workout to the best of my skill sets and abilities, I was like, how fast can I move? How fast can I make this movement? And as I got older, like what I am now, is that I was like, shit, I've been training this competitive way for years. And now I almost like move worse than I did when I first started CrossFit. And I feel like, and the point I'm making is as athletes get older or they're just starting to get surpassed, I feel like there's sometimes a moment of desperation where instead of just like competing and letting the chips fall where they may, they start desperately trying to do things to make them faster, which bring up situations like what we saw maybe this weekend. I'm curious what you think about that.
I know that when I do wall balls
excuse,
and Jackie or lightweight thrusters for high volume, I will widen my stance. If I have higher volume overhead squats, I will widen my stance. If I'm doing dumbbell snatches or clean and jerks, I'll widen my stance. Why? because yeah, it changes the distance that I have to travel. It's still within the okay rules. I mean, I'm not cheating. I'm not cheating, air quotes, anything, because it isn't saying it isn't anything outside the standard. But yeah, you're doing it for a different reason. Now, this is the difference between CrossFit, the fitness program, and CrossFit, the sport. When I'm doing sport, everything that I do is how fast can I do it and how heavy can I do it? What's going to be the most efficient way to complete XYZ? And when you are racing people that either have different advantages over you, you can find ways to make your movement more efficient, whether that's moving better, whether that is changing your range of motion in a way that, like, decreases the inches that you have to travel or whatever. I mean, shit, if you have to do 150 wall balls and you
Right.
take off 3 inches on the down and the up, that's 6 inches.
Right.
That's, I mean, it's 75 extra feet of travel.
I get it. Yeah.
So, but is it a desperation thing? I mean, yes.
I think
I think it's a race.
Total desperation mode.
I think it's a race thing. Oh, well,
Yeah.
well. So here's the difference: is that the way she was doing it allows you to rest your push, because you're not pushing up as much weight. You're rolling up.
Yeah.
Which is faster.
Right.
But then what did she do when she was up? She would step over the bar. So it's like she's doing this, the speed and the light load, but then resting when she's going across the bar. So even if she was trying to pick up the tempo so she could keep that tempo for the whole time, she was stepping over the bar. So like I didn't see the desperation of, I got to do anything I can to go faster. It was, how do I just keep from slowing down? That's what I think that was. And I don't know if that was desperation. It was just, I think it was more of a pacing strategy than anything. But I think, if the standard is chest, hips, thighs all touch at the same time, on and off, and I'm not, and this is semantics. Yeah. This is semantics. We could all say, yeah, but that a burpee is supposed to be, well, you can't. If we're going to make a big deal about it, then we have to have it in writing. Here's exactly what it has to look like.
Well, just for her, in event 6 is chest touching the ground at all.
Exactly. Well, totally.
That's different.
Well, but I don't think that she was thinking, okay, you know what? I'm only going to go down to where my stomach touches, and I'm going to raise my chest up as high as I can so that I don't have to. I don't think it was a thought process like that. I think it was, I'm moving and no one's saying otherwise.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get it. And that's, I think that too. Alyssa, can we talk about the step over? In what sense? That it looks silly?
That, like, to me, I saw that and I'm like, oh God, see, I wish we never changed the standard of the burpee. Because
changing the standard of the burpee was
fucked it all up, dude. That fucked it up. In a one sentence move of trying to make it so it's easier for people to judge in the open, which is what that was, we completely fucked up the speed of the burpee now in the race of the burpee. Because now it's
jump off 2 feet.
Fuck.
Just jump off 2 feet.
I have a hard time watching that.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
And I know why they brought in the step, because that makes it even less, because then you're like, okay, now it's just like burpee however you want to over the bar. I get it.
But it just, these are supposed to be the best athletes in the world. We don't make it to where, like, hey guys, okay, you're about to all qualify for the game, so we're going to give you the scaled version of the burpee over the bar that we do for the people in our class.
That's what Alyssa's saying right now. Yes, it looks
God.
Silly. Yeah. Elise, yes, that's what we're saying. The step over helped the judges 100%, but unnecessary at, like you saying, at a semifinal. Like the burpee step over is what we give like our 80-year-olds in the gym.
These aren't deconditioned athletes right now.
Yeah. And the other thing that I see a lot is like, it's not just on the judge, and it's not. A lot of this needs to fall on the athlete's shoulder as well. They know exactly what a good rep should be, whether that's a 2-foot takeoff or a 2-foot landing. Like they know, everybody knows. It's like a chest bar pull up. Well, what do you mean? It's like touch just somewhere here to here. Like I get it. It's on everybody. And unfortunately, when these mistakes are being made in the most highlighted, high intense position, like they're magnified tenfold. And the thing that I think Hiller is doing is now people are having to talk about it more or at all. I think that's one thing where you see, depending on who's saying this, the positive side is him's bringing attention to it. Like no one's afraid to say it anymore. And now that no one's afraid to say it anymore, it's some are taking it a bit extreme. But if you look at the underlying message, like I guess really from any Hiller video, and he says this too, like listen to the message, not the way I say it, because he knows he's over the top and he's super aggressive and clickbaity with his titles. Like he's said that, but like the underlying message is like he's not wrong most of the time.
Well, and I think that this is something that it hasn't ever come up, but because of some drastic things that happened in the beginning, and he in the beginning was the only one that loudly said, look at these bad reps, because you had everybody's videos out there to look. So I think what this is gonna do, honestly, is in this particular season, and we're talking in all areas. We're talking in programming, we're talking in competitive setup, we're talking in judging standards, we're talking in movement standards, whatever. I think there's so much of a stirring of the pot that next year these things are now going to be like, well, we can't have it this way because everyone's going to see it. We can't just program it this way because everyone will notice. You can't haphazardly do any of the pieces anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Even to the point of the judging, even to the point of what your movement is. So if you're going to be a bad mover, it's gonna get called out. Maybe not. Maybe it's not Hiller. Maybe it's someone else.
I
Maybe
used
it's
to do
the
that
judge. You know,
when I
maybe
first
it's the
started doing color
broadcast.
commentary.
Oh man, we used to
What?
we would get pulled in the
What's her name?
headphones.
Danielle
Hey,
Siddell.
oh my gosh, totally.
I fucking called out Camille.
Yeah,
It's like my first time doing color commentary. I was getting texts from Roy. He's like, "Bro, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Those aren't strict muscle ups. Is no one else going to talk about this?"
Well, and that was the thing, is we were at that time, everything was wanting to promote the sport and promote, and so you can't promote it by having negative stuff. And that was again, we were a young company. We were young at that time doing that stuff. So, but it's a fine line right now to walk. If those judges weren't there, these events would not happen. We would not have a CrossFit Games. We would have no way to get these athletes from one element to the next, or one event to the next event to the next event, and qualify up. So as shitty as maybe some of the judging has been, I mean, again, like they pay their own way to get there. They get a fucking t-shirt and a sandwich maybe, and then get shit on by everybody. Granted, for doing a bad job, I mean, not taking away anything about that, but the system has to be changed. And what Hiller is doing now is forcing the system to change, because everyone is seeing it. And now people aren't watching just to watch. Oh my gosh, that's Katrin David's daughter. Oh my gosh, that's Sam Briggs, or that's Brent Fikowski. Now they're like, who's gonna fuck up on the rep? Oh, that rep sucked. That one's going to be on a Hiller video. You watch. Oh, this is going to be talked about on that podcast. Or, oh, that person can't do it now. I mean, people are actually watching for that. So I think that this is, I mean, it just adds to what the year is that it's one gigantic, we're putting it in the blender, and hopefully on the other end next season, we've ironed all these things out, including judging, including standards, including all that, so that we have a nice smooth competition again.
Rich's forgotten cousin. That's a great name, by the way.
That is.
He said this about taking bar facing burpees out of it. It's like this, and that's a slippery slope of like, oh, this is hard to judge, so take it out. It's like, okay, then take out deadlifts and handstand push-ups and chin over bar pull-ups, and like just
every movement.
Just take some freaking responsibility and do better. Now, the one thing that we probably still will never see again is a kettlebell swing. But like, if you guys remember 2011, that was a disaster. And we can do a lot of different things other than that. But other than that, like, okay, yeah, what movement should you not have in a live competition? Probably push-ups. Like,
No, well, definitely push-ups.
but
Well, I say this: any of those movements,
there's nothing wrong with a
movement,
bar-facing burpee. You
any
just made
movement,
it way too complicated. Yeah, any movement can be a bad
any
movement.
movement can be done iffy. Any movement. I mean, shit. When you're doing a deadlift and the range of motion is from the ground to your hips, and there's issues in that one, give me
Yeah.
a fucking break. Like, there's no other. I mean, in an air squat, that's gonna be if you got wall balls with everything is iffy. It could
Yeah.
all be iffy.
Yeah.
That's
Shayna, will CrossFit ever use video playback for judging like in other sports?
God. I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not either. Like for
Because
what? Oh, maybe to rectify a rep not given, but like to go through and what? Take away everybody's no reps because you can't do that because okay, it's like, okay, you did 15 no reps in a row. It's like, yeah, but if my judge said stand up, I would have done the other 14 like the way they asked me. You can't retroactively take things away, but I would be okay with saying, hey, I got that rope climb and they didn't give it to me. Maybe go back and look at that. Like if there's a mistake for the positive side, but like to go back and vet everybody's reps is like, then don't put judges out there. Do what Bill said. It's like, all right, you guys go run your race and we'll watch your video and we'll deduct your times afterwards. Like that'd be terrible.
Yeah, and it's because it's a race that has a start time and a finish time. There's no pause in the action. Like for football, you can go back and look at it because you can stop the clock. Basketball, same thing. You can't do that on a race. Like think of a 100-meter dash. Like ready and go. Well, we got to go back to stop, guys. Halfway, we got to go back and look at the
hey, what's the score? How many fouls do you have? Like,
yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, so this is a good example that Bruce was saying. They use video replay with Kara. Yeah, that was a very easy, specific situation to make sure that they got it right. And what happened was the judge let her finish, and then they watched the video back and realized she did 72 of the 75 reps. They timed how long her last 3 reps from 69 to 72 took, plus a transition, and then added that time to her total time. That was a necessary and great move. Also, the implications of that were huge as well, because had she had gotten that, she would have won the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
So
could you imagine doing that for that? That was one athlete, one specific moment. You remember how long that
very end of the event,
right?
Like that was a very easy fix. And like, well, you missed. That's a very niche example. That doesn't work. Not all events work that way.
Yeah, I think it's really hard. I think where the video comes in is maybe a lifting event. Like if you got it or if you didn't get it, okay, maybe. Because there's kind of a start and finish on that. Like if they wanted to dispute Guy's lift, like so they were talking about that he had a re-rack.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I mean, like at least with that, I mean, not whether it is or it isn't. I mean, I'm not trying to get onto Hiller's thing on that, but whether it is or it isn't, at least in that element, you can say nope, that's a no rep. All right, we'll go back and I mean, shit, I'll use my own example. I got DQ'd out of the games because I got a 0 on my lift because they said I didn't have control of my squat clean.
Right.
And I asked, hey, can you look at the video to see? And they're like, no, we didn't have a video there. I'm like, well, there's a camera right in my face. They're like, no, we're not going to use that. Well, the next day, I'm out of the competition. I'm watching my brother compete. And on the big screen up at Carson, I see my lift and I'm standing all the way up with it. And it comes off my shoulders when I'm totally standing up. I'm like, that looked like a good rep to me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can do it on a lift. I think it'd be hard in the middle. Like it's like, I'm sorry, Katrin's her deadlifts are bad, so we should go back. I think it ends up being too much of a gigantic math problem and take way too much time out of it. You got to have your judges. Yes, there's going to be subjectivity to it, but you have to have your judges that at least they're there to do a job, not there to see the stars. You know what I mean?
Right. And 16 years is how long this sport has been alive. So I realize first off, shout out to everybody's passion. Big fan of that. the fact that you guys are upset and emotional and involved, me and Bill are the same way. Like, that's what we want in a sport. How many times at the end of an NFL game on Monday morning, you're like, bullshit holding call totally fucked our team. And this guy's foot was out of bounds and they didn't even see it on replay, or that was a fumble. Like, welcome to sports. For those of you guys that don't know what real sports is like, welcome to real sports. Judgment calls, human error, things went wrong, people got legitimately screwed, that person was cheating. Like, hey, welcome to sports, guys. And I'm not saying as an excuse to get over it. I'm saying stay with it. But if just because your feelings are hurt, I mean, clearly, who gives a shit? Like, I get upset too when I watch judges give, or athletes get away with murder. But like, welcome to sports, guys. That's the best part. That's what keeps us coming back. That's what makes us angry and passionate. So we can talk about this after the fact and hopefully move things forward. But this isn't like an instant fix.
You want to know what's great?
That way.
You want to know what's great is that all this talk this weekend about Katrin and her the movements and how terrible they were and blah blah blah. Did she make it?
No.
Exactly.
Rich, that is a terrible idea. Just get better at it.
You can't remove a movement because there's bad judges on it.
You're like moving this target. It's like, just get freaking better at it. We don't have to.
So here's an example. We talk about how we said for like the online qualifiers, pistols should be taken out because as a video review, it's hard to see. Pistols are not a movement that should be removed to test the people to get to the games, because you have a live judge that's right there, and I can see your hip crease, and I can see if you're standing up, and I can see if your other foot goes to the ground or not, and I can see if your heel, whatever the situation. There is no movement that should be removed because it's difficult to judge. You just need to have judges that can do it. You need to set your judges up to be able to do that.
Yeah, help them out. Otherwise, I think Patrick said this is like, or we're just going to do like rowing.
Yeah, I don't think you could cheat that unless you get a different computer on your rower.
It's like, oh, for handstand push-ups, put a button 6 feet over their heads so their feet have to touch it, or in front of their chest so it opens up. Like, just freaking be better, everybody. Not, we have to dumb this moving down, so that people have to work hard to get it. Anyways.
Dude, Rich's forgotten cousin. You're angry today.
Nowadays, angry. It's not possible, and it shows. I don't even know what that means.
Just angry.
Hey, I like your passion, Rich. Shout out to that. Keep that energy. I like it. All right, let's talk about the events. I couldn't find like good event pages to pull from, which is annoying.
Come on, events, help us out here. How are we supposed to talk about it?
It's like Atlas Games, like, go to our app. I'm like, no, just put your damn events on the. God, my one pet peeve of the weekend. I even text Adrian and Joel. I was like, if you say workout one more effing time,
dude,
I'm gonna lose my shit. Oh, let's see. I want to start with Copa Sur because nobody really got to see that. All right. Okay, event 1. Can you see this okay?
Yeah.
Can everybody else see this okay? We'll see. Best of the weekend was event 6, Copa Sur. Oh, well, let's go look at this. We're here, Rich. We're here. All right, event 1, Chipper 22, which I'm assuming is just for the year. 50 wall ball shots at 30 and 20. Already a good start. 50 chest to bar pull-ups, 100 double unders, 50 deadlifts at 90 and 60 kg, which is about 200 pounds and 132. So 198, 132. Oh, 100 double unders is a little short. Nah. It's fast. That's a sprint.
It's a sprint.
That's a sprint.
This is you need to, if you're going to be one of the best, you got to do these unbroken. Maybe the deadlifts you can set it up, but like your wall ball's unbroken. Chest to bar, maybe one break. These guys should be doing one break.
Yeah. I mean, the most chest to bars I've ever done that's actually really funny. We did a test at the gym that was 50 wall ball shots at that weight into 50 chest to bar pull-ups for time. and I ended up doing it unbroken. I was much fitter when I did that, but I like it. I like this one.
Yeah.
It's a sprint. The 100 double unders is like, okay, that's going to take a minute. The wall ball shots is going to take just under 2 chest to bar pull-ups. I don't know. I mean, there are going to be a couple breaks. If you do 50 wall ball shots at that heavyweight and you're not used to it, you're going to break up your chest to bar pull-ups.
Yeah, but even if you do 2 breaks on the chest bar, like that's very easy.
Do you think it's actually better to break on the wall ball shots so you can do the chest bar pull-ups unbroken? Because I feel like those breaks would be longer.
Me personally, like, you're better at wall balls than I am. I would break up the wall balls and I would do the chest bar unbroken.
Yeah.
Because I'm better at pull-ups than I am at wall ball. I'm okay at wall balls, but I'm good at pull-ups.
Yeah.
That would be my deal.
I'm like the opposite of you.
Yeah.
I'm really good at wall balls. I'm okay.
And then we'd flip on the deadlifts and the double unders too.
I'm like, all right, I gotta somehow get a minute on Bill on these 100 double. Yeah, we are. We would be very closely matched in this event.
Yeah. You know what? I think they should have, just for shits and giggles, I would say the double under should be 150.
Me too.
One, because it looks prettier, because you have 50, 50, and 50, and then 150.
Yes.
So you have the numbers that way, but then also time-wise, it just gets it closer to where the other ones would be.
Yeah, totally agree. But I do like this. I like it. Run, swim, run, which is, oh no, they're swimming. Was there swimming twice in this? No, once.
No.
Someone had told me about that. Once. Run, swim, run. It's a nod to a games event from 2017. I think it was more a 1,500 meter run, but whatever. I mean, it's its own individualized event. We said the same thing about Fitness in Cape Town. If this is your long aerobic test, which it looks like it was, okay. This is a CrossFit Games event. Why not vet the field that you're qualifying 2 people out of to go to the CrossFit Games?
Yeah.
Selfishly, I'm also good at this. So,
would you?
I think the swim should be longer.
Well, it's hard to say. I think that 500 meters is it's good, especially
legitimately 5.
If it was first, I would say longer. Being that, like, these people are going to be tired coming into it, I think that's a good test. What if you would have had, like, I like more of the triathlon kind of version of these, to have rowing, swimming, and running.
Yeah.
I think that would have been. I think that would have been more fun.
No, they have row or bike,
or even a bike.
Do they have bike in here? I don't think so.
We did Blair Morrison's event, the Northern California Classic. He had a 5-mile assault bike, 300-meter swim across the lake, or a 1.5-mile run, 300-meter swim back. So you could do like an assault bike even to the start of this if you don't have like air bikes and stuff, if you wanted to play that game.
Yeah, I think a run, swim, bike. Yeah, a triathlon style, swim, bike, run, whatever, if you want to put it in that order.
I do like to swim in the middle.
Me too.
Because that really ups the level for sure, especially in CrossFit.
Yeah, so the barbell one, okay, that's 3, 4. Okay, event 5. God. Cal Su with muscle ups, basically. 100 thrusters at 25 and 30 kg, which is like 99 pounds and 30 or 66 pounds. No.
Yeah, it's your open Fran weight.
Yeah, and that's why the open weights back in the day were 165 because kilos. Every 2 minutes, 5 ring muscle ups. I like it.
I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot.
I do like this. So far, gosh. Oh, okay, we got one more. But I mean, it's good. It's good. Now, ring muscle ups coming off the leg list. That's not too bad. It's only 10 legless rope climbs. We're acting like it's 30. Jesus, come on. Slow my brain down. All right, last one, event 6. We have part 1 for time, 30, 20 cal row, 24-meter handstand walk, 15, 10 cal row, 12-meter handstand walk, time cap. Oh, yes, this thing. So part 1 was an elimination to cut to 10 athletes.
Yeah.
And then part 2, which is just 20, 15 cal row and a 12-meter handstand walk, was to cut down to the final 5 because they had cut an athlete after each round, I think.
5 elimination rounds.
That was cool. Row handstand walk. That was pretty sweet. I wish I could have seen that. I mean, I could, but I could have. Yeah, like musical chairs. So first one, last one standing or something like that. That's what Rich is saying. Oh, look at you, Rich, putting a positive comment on. Welcome back, buddy. Welcome back.
He's happy again.
He's happy again. I think top to bottom, so far, this is my favorite one.
The event or the competition?
The competition.
Yeah.
End to end. There's no thing in here other than like, oh, just add 50 double unders here, blah. I would have liked to seen a bike here, whatever. That's just like preference. But as far as like test, that's damn good. I like it. This looks fun.
I think the competition, the pieces go together much better than we've seen the other ones.
Yes.
Which I think is huge. I would say that I still think you need a little bit more weight in some of the stuff, like maybe bring the number of the thrusters down. Like I love that event, that the too many rings one.
Well, make it, how about this? Like we said, this is kind of like Cal Su. You made it harder with ring muscle ups. Don't take the weight down.
Right.
Just make it legitimately 135 and 95.
Yeah. I mean, because
if they keep that,
it's pretty dang cool.
Yeah, like whoever wins, honestly, I think if you did this format every 2 minutes instead of every minute like Cal Su is with burpees, but with the 135 and 95, whoever your top 2 in that event is, I could almost see them being your top 2 in the leaderboard.
Go back and check.
Okay, I'll go look. Leaderboard.
Janelle, I know. I always say, "Where's the weight?" That's just because I think it's important. Because whenever weight is put into programming, it's either 1 rep max style or like the heavy complex, and it's like, oh, well, we have the total in there, so we don't need to have any weight in there. We'll just do a 30-pound wall ball and handstand walks. And
okay, ready for this?
Yeah.
On the men's side, barring apparently an outlier, Guillermo Haro second, Agustin Riquelme third on the leaderboard. And that was your top 2 qualifiers. No, Riquelme got third, so he missed it by 1.
Okay. So your top 3 or your top 3?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Women's side. Much different on the women's side. But here's the thing. That's because the weights are lighter. I was saying if the weights were
135, 95, or you want to go like 155. What's it? I said you can bring the weight up, bring the number down. You know what I mean? Like bring the number down.
No, don't bring the number down. Just make it Cal Su weight with Cal Su reps, but with ring muscle ups every 2 minutes.
All right.
And I think then you will see your top 3 will be your top 3 at the end of the weekend in whatever order.
I mean, I love it. My weight thing, I will say in this, of all of the events that we've seen, of all the competitions, I say where's the weight, but it is very just like, if you had it in there, it would make it really, really nice. But the setup across, like, honestly, these events all look really fun to do.
Yeah. Yes.
And I do think that they would find very fit athletes to get to the games, especially because you have swimming in there. You have, some good gymnastics in there. You have speed, you have long, and I mean, like, this is a very well-rounded test that we have not seen
from event to event, because we've seen a lot of kick-ass events, but all in weird
competition block. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's what's your Element 26 thumb tape review of the Copa Sur?
Oh man.
Which we may, hey, by the way, while you're thinking, I'll just throw this out there for you guys listening. We did a little feeler. What would you guys like to see with our new OG collection? And someone's like, what about a collab with Element 26 wristbands and our OG logo?
That'd be sick.
and they got back to me and they said, let's talk. So
Oh,
I'm throwing it out
dang.
there. Just, hey.
I'm going to wear the wristbands around all the time.
Yeah, I'll just have them. I'll be like Savon on the podcast. I'll just have
Be like,
wristbands.
what's up?
In Texas, I'll be dying.
But it'll keep the sweat off your hands, though. That'll be good.
Right. So when so yeah, we got a couple things in the works. I was talking to Ken with Sherpa Works today, and we got some game stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Coming. You know those straw bucket hats that Rogue sells out of in 5 seconds every year?
Yeah.
Maybe one of those. Maybe some patches.
Well, we've been waiting on patches for a while now, dude.
They're coming. Patches are in the works.
Patches.
And maybe a games only edition for the summertime heat of the t-shirt, where we may cut the sleeves off for the men's in the tank version with a bit more color.
I like that.
Splashed around. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Okay.
Tuned, y'all.
Okay. I just want to say this. If we get those bucket hats.
Yes.
And we're doing patches.
Yes.
I think we need to get the Velcro has to go all the way around the hat so you can put the patches around.
Ooh, like a fisherman's hat?
Yeah.
Holy shit. How is that not even made yet?
Dude, I don't know. That's why no one take our idea.
All right. You guys all heard it here first. All 79 of you listening. By the way, everybody hit the like button because this is a great fucking idea. A fisherman's hat, Velcro strip around the whole straw bucket hat with all the patches you can put on there.
All the patches you like.
Oh my gosh!
You go to the games. It's like everybody wants to put those patches all over their weight vest. Now you just put those patches all over your hat.
I want to walk around with the damn
sun protection and coolness all at the same time.
Son of a bitch! Yes, genius. All right, thumb tape review.
I'm gonna go 1 3/4 because I really like it. It looks so damn fun. I know. I say 3/4. I say 3/4 because I like the way it's set up. I like that we have speed. I like that we have intervals. I like that we have long distance. I like that we have swimming. I like that we have alternating between weightlifting and gymnastics. I like the way it's set up. I would like there to be a little bit more weight in there. I'll say it, especially since that seems to be my theme that I was just told. Yeah. But I like it, man. I think it is this. I haven't been really excited about any of the competitions, events, but not competitions. In this one, I really dig. I really dig.
I like it. I'm gonna give it 1.5.
Okay.
Only for the little double under fix, yeah.
Yeah.
And the weight on the thrusters. But that's it. And that's only because a 1 3/4 to me is just like borderline perfect, because I don't think we may have given out 1, 2 over the years. And if you just wanted to notch this up a little bit, that's really it. Man, I don't know if that's worth taking it down a half point. Maybe I'm just doing that so we don't agree all the time.
That's fine.
1.5.
Yeah, of course, as you're saying that, I'm like, well, I guess I could have gone 1.5, but
Patrick, we need a training with Bill and Chase weekend camp. I'd sign up yesterday.
How fun would that be?
Well, if we do that, we're coming to you. We are not coming to me. Because we will be getting in the ocean.
It is really nice out here right now.
Oh, man. Yeah, that'd be cool. And talk programming and how to, yeah, okay.
We might have to do that, Patrick. All right.
All right, shifting gears. Let's go to strength in depth. Who has a wonderful website. Thank you guys so much. Oh, let's go here. Strength in depth leaderboard. No, I want this. Very nice.
Look at that.
Very nice. Individual event number 1 is basically a take on the triple threes. This is the long aerobic test. 1,000 meter run, 200 meter, 2,000 meter row, 300 double unders, 1,000 meter run. I mean, it's one of those where it does what it's supposed to do. It's that long aerobic test. I have no problems in here, just like the run, swim, run from Copa Sur, or I still like the Endure the Sled at Granite Games. Might be my favorite long one so far, but There's nothing wrong with this. Event 1, go long, and they got it done early. People are fresh. They could push it. Whether or not they should, different question, different answer. What about you?
I like the event. It's same thing. It does what it does. What I'm bummed about is we already have a repeat event. We have one that everyone's doing, and then we take another repeat style event. Yes, this was a games event, so just like we said in the last one, why not vet the field with an event that we've used? But the thing is that we've done. Didn't we do that at the regionals one year too? Something real similar to that.
No, they did triple threes as a repeat, so this would be almost a three-peat.
Yeah. So like to me, again, I think you can.
I see what you're saying.
There's a lot of endurance-y type events you could choose.
Yeah.
To repeat that to me is like, okay, so all you had to do was come up with 3 events. So like, you know what I mean? Like to me, it's just kind of.
What if they change the run for like a ski?
I mean, okay. I mean, I get it.
For you.
I mean, close. It would be closer. You know, I don't think we need to. I don't think you need to tip the hat to the the game stuff or the. We don't think you need
you're
to
already
do
being
that
forced to do
often.
that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to do that. I'd say this and not that they had the ability to do it, with where they were. I mean, maybe they could have because it was the first event, but why not? Why not in this event have swimming? I would have liked that better, which would have been much more similar to what they had at Copa Sur.
Venue-wise, I mean, in London, I don't think there's.
Oh, no, that's what I mean. I don't. Well, you could have had it at a pool or something.
Right. I mean,
You
2
know,
venues is a.
I get it. I just said I would rather if it had been that way. I look at this and it's about as vanilla and boring to me as I think you can possibly come up with.
Okay, fair.
So,
event 2 is 3 rounds for time, 12 ring muscle ups, 30 alternating pistols, 9 hang power snatches at 70 and 48 kg, which is about 154. And it's the close, like the 155, 105 split. A little bit less. I think this is 100 pounds, 105. No, is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
105. Okay, so that's right. I like this one. It's tough. It gets super grippy. Having pistols in there, being judged correctly is a good place to have it, especially if you tax the grip and the shoulders and the legs, and then you do those hang power snatches. You better be good with a barbell on the tail end of that.
That second and third round. I mean, the second round going into the third round, when you knew you had to push and you come off those snatches, you go right back to the 12 muscle ups.
Yeah.
I really liked the setup, and it made the races really cool to watch. Watching how people would transition from one piece to the next piece. Deciding, okay, I can run to the rings, but am I going to run to the rings and just stand there, or am I going to be able to get right up to them? And it was awesome to see the athletes that could go.
Yeah.
From the barbell right back to the ring muscle. I love the pairing. I think I would have messed with the numbers a little bit, but I think the pairing is cool. Just because like 12, 39 just seems kind of weird, but
yeah, whatever. That does. But to me, it's like, okay, 12 is outside of an easy number for me to comprehend as an athlete. If it was 10, like, oh, I know how to do 10, but you know how to do 12. I mean, Dave used to do that crap all the time.
No, totally. I mean,
and again, at the end, I see that.
I think seeing the numbers is like that's nitpicky for what it is. I mean, if you were to write it, you could have gone 10 ring muscle ups, 30 squats, and 10
30 10.
Yeah,
you know what I do see in here, and this might be me reaching. 12 is the inverse switch of 21, and 15, one on each leg, is 15 each leg. So I see a 21-15-9 pattern in here disguised.
Okay. I see what you're doing.
See it? I'm reading through the matrix.
Right. Yes, you are. You read the code on that one. But I like this event. To me, the first event was like, whatever. The rope climb is whatever. The lift is whatever at this point. And then this one is like, okay, now cool. Now we get to see something fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
I liked it.
I agree. Okay, event 3. Where are you? Scrolling. Oh, okay, that's the complex. Event 4. The kettlebell deadlifts, handstand walk, box jump overs, toes to bar, box jump overs, handstand walk, kettlebell deadlifts. I like this event. Super grippy on each end. It's taxing your core in pretty much every way you can. And having to do the back half on the way back after the toes to bar, which takes away your ability to jump, takes away your ability to stabilize on a handstand walk, and then whatever you kind of have left at the end for the deadlifts. I mean, aside from all the other crap like judge stuff, I like this chipper.
That's 75 toes bar. That's a devious number.
Yeah.
Like when everyone sees 100, they're like, okay, I'm breaking. But
Right.
it's not 100, and it's not that far over 50. So you're like, okay, one break.
How do I do this?
How am I going to do this one?
Dude, I'd be doing the catching round. I'd be doing quick fives.
Yeah.
And just go fast everywhere else. Play the lotto. Chase says he likes deadlifts. You guys are misconstruing my opinion of deadlifts. I realize I'm bad at heavy deadlifts. I don't hate the movement. I just don't think it should be a one-off test in an online qualifier. I like this event.
This is a cool event. I like it too. I like it too.
Like there's that regional event that had the heavy kettlebell deadlifts, toes to bar, and handstand walks. I can't remember, like 2016. Remember that?
Yeah, I think I did Europe. I think I did Europe in that one.
Did you do Europe that year?
I think so.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Is that Madrid?
I think I was at the Caja Magica.
Okay. Event 5. Okay. Event 6, 21 and 15, 9 Echo Bike cows, bar facing burpees, and thrusters. As a finale, I like this a lot because this is just not to sound cliche, but a very how bad do you want an event with 3 movements that allow you to answer that question when you don't want to.
Oh.
The only thing I wish they did, and someone mentions this earlier and they're totally right, is to have extended the time cap so all the women could race to the finish. Because I think 4 finished it, maybe 4, a handful. I don't remember, maybe 10. I'll look it up, but not a lot.
Yeah.
And you want them all to finish because people got judged and qualified not actually doing the work or all the work. On the men's side, let's see. Anybody get capped? Yeah, your bottom 6 got capped, but that's pretty normal.
Well, I mean, but the thing about it, I mean, you have the women doing the exact same number of cows on the bike. Why would you have the same time frame?
5 women finish this event.
Okay,
5.
so make it 11 minutes. Where would people finish? What would you need on that?
That would have made it 11 minutes. What?
Yeah. Well,
What's your question?
Well, no. I'm saying, of course, you're going to have less women finishing.
Oh, right.
You didn't change the number. You wanted to be 21, 15, 9. Okay, I get it. I get your numbers. Cool.
Got it.
So bring the number up, just like what you're saying. Extend that time cap.
Yeah.
How could you expect them to be going as fast as the guys are going to go? They're not going to do that on the Echo bike. They can on the other movements. But that's why usually on the Echo bike, or on rowing, it's the same thing. You have that usually have that different number between the two.
Yeah.
But then that would make it look like that would be silly. It'd be like 18 and 12 and 6 or something.
I agree. Yeah, extend it 2 minutes. Everybody gets a shot to finish. Done. Easy day.
I do like this event.
I do like this event too,
really
especially for a final.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people will approach this much differently if this was like event 1.
Oh,
because there has to be some semblance of self-preservation, because you're just like, you're going to bury yourself. There's so much leg pump and push and
I mean, I guess I would be stepping over the bar too on the bar facing burpees.
Oh yeah, do it. If you're gonna tell me I can do that, I'm going to do that.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
I do like the fact that, I mean, just like you said, the way it's designed is, this is a how bad do you want it? And now you're pushing all your chips on the table because this is your last chance to qualify and get above that cut line, you know? So it's like you have no option but to absolutely bleed yourself on the floor, which is that's always fun to see just where people are going to go on that. It's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. All right, what is your Element 26 thumb tape review?
Ed, I
Ed,
know.
well, now you
I
tell
will
me.
never do that
We will remind you.
because I will use that as a modification and scale for my deconditioned athletes. I'll do honestly.
There were no bad events in here.
No. Okay, I look at this one and I don't think like to me I see two events. I like the events. I'll say 1.25.
Yeah, that was mine too.
Because I feel like all I'm doing is looking at two events. The long event was kind of a let's find a long event. Okay, throw that one in there.
Did its job.
It did, but to me, if I'm looking at the programming, I saw two events that were programmed. I like the two events.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? But it's like
3 events.
Oh, okay, 3.
Half.
1.25. 1.25.
Yeah, 1.25. Like it. The fittest got there. I see no, weight other direction. Like it wasn't overly gymnastic. It wasn't underweighted or overprogrammed. Like it was just that's what it was.
Right.
I mean, you look at who qualified, and you're like, yeah, okay. Nobody snuck in there that didn't work their ass off to get there. Right? It's like, oh, you only got there because of this. Yeah. And shout out to Thuri Helgadottir. You deserve much more chatter.
Dude, I'll tell you what, no one I think
she's so underappreciated.
Thuri is so underappreciated. That girl is a bad ass. She can lift like a big girl. She does gymnastics like a smaller athlete. She's so unassuming looking.
Yeah.
But she is a beast.
And no disrespect from any of the other daughters, but Turi's, I've always been, I mean, we know that, like, I was like, Turi's she's been my favorite daughter since 2012. Man. Mainly because I screwed up her name so bad all weekend long that it made me so self-conscious about saying European names. You want to know the story I told you about?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys, Bill's heard this story, so Bill has to suffer through this. I was doing like play-by-play first half commentary in 2012. It was my first year broadcasting ever. And I could not say her name right because we didn't really know how to say these athletes' name back then. Now they'll like record them, and at the games we'll get like a file of how to say it. And no, I'm not going to say it, Ed. I refuse to say that name. I'll just say Thuri Helgadottir. That's really easy to say, but like her whole name is a bit longer than that in the beginning.
Yep.
And I couldn't say it. And we were leaving one night. We're walking to the parking lot. It was super dark. And I'm standing behind this large group of Icelandic people. And I hear them talking. And then I hear them talking shit about me. And the fact I couldn't say her name right and laughing at me. And I was so embarrassed that they didn't know I was there, but they were just talking so much shit about me. And then in an English and Icelandic. And I couldn't say, had nothing to say. I already knew I was saying it wrong. And I said it different every time. And so I have massive PTSD on saying Thuri's name. And ever since then, she's been my favorite.
Oh, she's awesome. I mean, just because she's awesome because she's so unassuming. She's not a showboat. She just goes out and does her thing. I love that she competes in Olympic lifting competitions, and she's known for gymnastic stuff. Like she's all over the place. I mean, she's awesome. It is amazing. They had Mads on there, and Mads is so great. Mads Jacobson. So he's out there commentating. And Mads is talking. He's talking regular like this, and everything is normal. Then all of a sudden, he will say a name. Like, dude, he was saying Katrin's name. And I, who know Mads, I, who know Katrin, I, who had done the commentating thing, I'm like, wait, who's he talking about?
Yeah.
He says their names so authentically that my American ears are like, Who are we talking
Yeah.
about? I don't know what we're talking about.
It's so abrupt.
He's talking like, I'm like, I don't even know what you just said, man. Like, where's just Katrin? Katrin's daughter.
And
I'm
then
like,
it's even like I'm even more self-conscious already about saying these people's names with the incorrect phonetics and dialect. And now I have Mads next to
Oh,
me
dude.
just doing it
Yeah.
all right. I'm like, God bless.
Well, and it was funny because, so here's Tommy. Tommy doesn't do play-by-play. That's not his normal role. And he was doing his thing, and I could see he was getting sucked in to Mad's
Yeah.
accents.
Yeah, I was like, don't
And
do
I
it.
was like, just, hey, man, you know
Yeah.
what? Like, Sean does the same thing. Sean will go, look, I'm saying it this way. When we had to say Michelle Latano's name,
Yeah.
even Michelle said, don't say it the way you think it sounds. Just say
Yeah.
it your way, because that's way more understood.
Yes.
So Sean's
And
like,
Mads
okay.
told me that. It was the best advice I could have gotten. And I took this into Amsterdam. It's so much so, I'll explain it at the very end, but I was like, dude, I can't say these names. He's like, Chase, if I say your name or anyone else of these foreigners say your name with their accent, do you like it? I'm like, yes, I do. Do they say it right? Not very often. Okay. Yeah. Well, you have an American accent, and that's just the way you say it. So we don't really care. Now, some people care. It's usually family members and people who are just douchebags on the internet. But someone had messaged me on Instagram. He's like, hey, tell your buddy to stop saying the names like this. He keeps saying it all weird. I'm like, actually, I'm the one that's fucking the names up. He's doing it perfectly. So just shut your mouth and listen to the broadcast. And that, in a nutshell, is like social media. You're so uneducated and ignorant about what is actually taking place, and you have the balls to message me that say he's fucking the names up.
Right.
Ugh,
It's
God.
crazy though. But I love listening to Matt's talk. I mean, I probably would have been like Tommy too. I've been like sucked into it.
Did he really do that? Oh. I thought about trying to say Mad's name right one time, but I didn't have the balls to do it. But yeah, and to Tommy's credit, he's never done play-by-play before, and I got sucked into the same thing when I went to the European region. It's like I just got pressured to like, okay, do I say it like this too? Because it sounds like we're saying two different things. And this year I was like, "Okay, you guys get what you get."
It's crazy.
Maybe start a petition that we all say names phonetically correct.
That seems to be the thing, dude. All kinds. I've
And
seen more
put that up
petitions.
on the live chat and when Tommy was going, and I'm so glad I was on at the time, and I was like, "Shut the fuck up, all of you." Like, can we get a petition to do like, no. God, you bunch of softies.
Petitions.
Just deal with it. Turn it off.
I want to get a petition to stop petitions.
I want to get, yeah, whatever. Okay. I don't want to talk about that too much. Oh, where are we at? Okay. Atlas Games. Atlas Games. Close this out. Bring this up. Now, this one is curious because I think for me is, yeah, I'll say it how I say it. Y'all just deal with it. We're trying to do our best here. We're trying to do our best. All right. Atlas Games. This is the one. I know you guys can't see that too well. I'll try to make this there. That helps a little bit. Where on paper and them all coming out, I think there was a lot of initial flack from the public. Like, oh, this, that, and the time gaps and all this. And then before we get into it, as the weekend unfolded, I was sitting back. I'm like, I changed my mind. Like, I don't have that much negative stuff to say about it because how it unfolded on paper, and you watched how people handled it. Because at first it's like parallel handstand push-ups, 12 inches for the dudes. And then you watch them do it, like, oh, okay, you guys are pretty good at this.
They needed 12 inches.
Yeah,
That's why. Yeah.
Right. Or this workout is only 10 minutes and this cap's 10 minutes and this cap's 14 minutes. Like, yeah, but they were all different. They didn't need that time cap. And so just off the bat is like, I was pleasantly surprised and happy to take my L on my initial. See you, Rich. Thanks for joining the party. Look forward to having you in the future. Thank you for your energy. And I mean that. I'm not being facetious. I was wrong. My initial reaction was like, oh, this is because people would text me like every time one would come out. What is this? What is this? I was like, I don't know, guys. And then at the end, I was like, man, I like this weekend. Just off the bat. I don't know how you felt.
I did like it.
Yeah, we'll go through it. All right, first one. This is one where I was like, what the 3 rounds for time, 21 16 cal ski erg, 15 parallel handstand push-ups, 90-foot front rack lunge with 175 and 115. And when I first saw it, it's like, oh God, why do we have to have parallettes that hard? And then, as we just said, when I watched it happen and looked at the elite athletes and how they did it, I was like, oh, this is dirty. Like,
Yeah.
front rack lunges, I think, are the worst lunges. The worst. I hate front rack lunges. I'd rather be overhead. Well, obviously, but it's the worst. And to do that after skiing and parallel handstand push-ups when you have no rack, crazy.
Yeah, the shoulders in this one.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, that was pretty funny.
I was like, oh man, someone's gonna get their
Yeah, that was
ass
a little.
beat.
Yeah, that was a little. Well, that may have been your last time, my friend.
Yeah.
May have been your last
Let
time.
me just put a camera right. Let me just squeeze right by you, Pat. Excuse me, sir. It's like, no,
Hey,
that's
hey, Pat, you're looking good. I'm just gonna
yeah.
go. I'm gonna stay here. Okay, we're gonna get that shot. I
Pat,
like
stay
this
quiet.
event. I like this event a lot. I'm kind of surprised they didn't put this as a final. I mean, it's a
Oh,
longer one, but again, you have that
okay.
walking lunge, you have that battle to get to the end.
Yeah.
And again, it sets itself up for I need to push all my chips in and I gotta hold on to this front rack lunge, which that's heavy, man. For 90 feet, that's it, like that weight, that's not a no joke weight. So the battle to hold on to that would be really, really cool. And it's not overhead, so you're not dealing with that thing. You're just dealing with I have to suffer and hold on to this thing. And I can't breathe. No kidding, you can't breathe. That weight is just on you the whole time.
Yeah.
I think it would be I think this would have been awesome at the end. But I like the event. It was cool
I
to
agree,
start everyone's,
actually.
and open up the event, open up the competition.
Yeah. I mean, well, overhead, any lunge to the finish line is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Next one, 4 rounds for time, 24 toes to bar, 12 sandbag cleans over the shoulder at 150 and 10. So first one we had, the ski erg, parallel push, front rack, lower body. And then this one is the core with the little pull, but like the opposite movement of the sandbag. Like you have this anterior core crunch, and then you have this posterior core pull, to be very basic, but look at on paper, you're like, meh. Then you watch it, you're like, okay, yeah. People are doing fit things right now.
I like this on paper even. I mean, because it's rare that you see a couplet.
I mean, more of like, oh, that's it, not that's bad. I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's how most couplets kind of they have that look to them. It's like that's all it is.
True.
And every time, like I know when I program here in the gym, those are the workouts that people will come in to do, and they'll be like, "That's all we're gonna do today." I'm like, "Yeah, talk to me afterwards." And they're like, "Oh, got it, okay." Yeah. And that's how this one is. I mean, every single one of those rep sets are very doable and very raceable. And now it's like, okay, you got to do them fast. You got to do them unbroken. It was cool to see the strategy, and I'm surprised that there weren't more people that did it. The strategy on the sandbag, walking themselves down.
Oh yeah.
Like I saw Emma Lawson do that, and I was like, okay, if that wasn't
awesome.
if that was her own idea, like way to F and go, like, because that was a big move. And I'm like, I saw Adrian started to talk about that, and they didn't call it out right away, and I was shocked. I'm like, these guys are going back and forth and having to pick that thing up and carry it all that distance.
I was like, oh
yeah,
snap.
Yeah, and I didn't know what the rules were as far as like if you had to face back or if that was the one that she did right before the end. If you had to be facing that way, I wasn't sure because she always turned the one right before the last one. I would have just kept walking it backwards to the very end.
Backwards over the line, and this I'm going this way anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I really did like this event. I liked how it was set up. I love the races that it created. The numbers that they were very, like I said, they were very raceable. And the time cap, I mean, again, you see 10 minutes and you're like, okay, I have to go fast.
Right.
So on paper, when I see this particular event, I like what it sets up the athletes to have to do.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I liked it. I liked it. All right, event 3, 30 ring muscle ups, 25 burpees over the box at 30 and 24, and then 15 squat snatches. Hallelujah. At 205 and 145. Hallelujah again. And before we get into the event, we just want to reiterate what we've been saying since the podcast started. With the retirement of Sam Briggs, we would again like to officially submit that 30 ring muscle ups for time is now a new girl benchmark workout called Briggs. 30 bar muscle ups for time needs to be called Samantha. And I think now that she's retired, we can push that narrative even more. Some more people actually jumping on board and being more vocal on Instagram for that idea. And it needs to happen. And as long as you guys know who started it, it was these two guys right here. Shit, where am I? God bless. All right. Hey, Bill.
These guys.
Hey. These guys.
Wait, hold on.
These guys. Oh,
Hold
wait.
right.
Sorry. For those of you guys watching or listening right now, we're
High five.
this is very and we are 5-year-olds with microphones. Again, they're like 10-minute time cap, 10-minute time cap. And then you look at this, you're like, love it. Big buy-in, benchmark style event test to come in, just burpees over a box at a higher box. And then the squat snatches at the end for 15 reps. This is a gnarly mini chipper.
I don't know if I would have liked it. I love the fact that it's set up as a chipper, because if it was done like 3 rounds of 10 ring muscle ups, burpees, and then like 5 snatch, like it would have had a different feel. But this one, and it was interesting listening to Vellner talk about this, because he did really, obviously did really well on this one. Should you go unbroken on those ring muscle ups? And it was interesting to watch where each one of the athletes were like, okay, where's my strong suit? Where should I? He said, he's like, I could do 30 ring muscle ups unbroken.
Who said that?
Pat did.
Oh, Pat. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He's like, I'll do 20 and 10. I'm like, okay.
Well, because he's like, I feel like I need to push the limit on this one. He's like, I could very easily break it and be okay, but I feel like that's my strong point. So I need to, and it, like he said, I want to lean into that. So it was interesting watching where each one of the different athletes decided to lean in on one of their 3 pieces on this, whether it was the lifting. Jeff Adler was making up a lot of move, he was really cutting down that distance on the snatch, and I was like, he might, I didn't think he was going to pass Pat, but I thought he could make up more. I didn't know if he'd be able to make up as much time as he did with those snatches, but we know that Jeff is very strong. We know how he is with the barbell. But Pat, same thing. He's known for gymnastics, but even though he's known for his gymnastics, every time you put a barbell in the guy's hand, the guy is strong, like beastly strong. And we always seem to, even though he does, he wins the total, he does all of these things where it's like the weightlifting guy, but we never put him in that classic weightlifting
He's
category.
so unassuming looking because he's got disheveled hair and pasty white skin and chest hair. But I guarantee you right now, if Pat had Andrew Hiller skin, Pat Vellner is so effing jacked out of his mind, jacked. And if he was just like tan and hairless, like if he's just shaved like Noah Olsen does before the CrossFit Games, you would get a lot more like attention physically. Pat is effing jacked, man.
Yeah. He has a very gymnast looking, big old shoulders, big old chest, big old tricep.
He's built like a silverback gorilla. His arms are like 6 feet long each.
I know, but I like how the setup, and again, I like how it forced people to have to decide, all right, where am I going to pace and where am I going to make my move? I have 3 choices.
Yeah.
And most of the people, the box jump would just kind of hang on. So then that kind of whittled it down to 2. If I choose to slow down on the ring muscle ups, that means I need to go really fast touch and goes on the snatch, or fast singles. Or if I flip flop it the other way, do I pace it too much or what's going to happen? So I like the event. I liked how it was designed. It was really fun.
Oh, I love it. It's like, okay, tax your upper body in the most intense way possible. You sap your legs and your explosiveness with a higher box jump, and now you better be good at snatching, not just strong.
And I talk about the weight in to me, this is a very appropriate weight. And this is what I mean. It's not about like, doesn't have to be like ungodly heavy, but you have to have something that this level of athlete that's going to be going to the games should be able to do. And I thought the 205 and the 140, I thought that was awesome. Awesome.
All right. My computer is going to die really quick. So I'm going to go grab my charger again.
Okay.
Everybody ask Bill some questions.
Ask me some questions.
Immediately.
We're going to go over event number 4, the barbell. No, we're not going to go over event number 4. Jeez, oh man. So we're working on this one, guys. Give me your highlight. We're talking about this event. Give me this competition. Give me your highlight of this competition. Honestly, for me, mine was Jeff Adler. Wow. Actually, both the champs, Jeff Adler and Emma Lawson, both of those athletes, man, they completely deserved their win. But give me one. Give me your personal top thing that happened this weekend for this event, for this competition. Come on now. You guys have been writing this whole time. Throw something up there. Corey, you got nothing? Come on now. Hey, what's up, Corey? I saw you come in, but I wasn't able to say what's up after that.
What I missed?
Paige Powers and Emma Lawson. I said highlights. I was just saying how the Jeff Adler and Emma Lawson, like the fact that how awesome it was that those guys, both athletes, both of them did and performed the way that they performed. Everyone knows that they're good, but they just kick the doors down. That was just awesome.
Yeah. And, the other thing we're like for Jeff, it's like we know he's strong. We know that. But we've talked to Zeroff after a few CrossFit games. Like we knew Jeff before he was even an athlete. He was a volunteer. He's like the Canadian Noah Olsen. He was a volunteer like the Dubai CrossFit Championship in like 2015. And him and Caroline, and also like shout out to Caroline Lambre.
Dude, Caroline is awesome.
She's cool.
Yeah.
She's a cool chick. But what she has done for him, she wasn't given like this great, it's not like Rich getting gi.
Right.
Like she has helped build Jeff Adler from him being just a dude.
Dude, in the pictures that we took with him at Dubai, he was a little dude.
He's just a kid.
That dude is he is yoked.
Yeah. So it's really cool to see his transformation because his biggest thing was he was a strong guy, but everything else sucked. And he finally like gave in and has been working on those weaknesses and it's paying off.
Oh,
it's
man.
Really cool to see that. Really cool.
Yeah,
So I'm happy for both of them.
No, those guys, right. Well, and it's funny because every time I see Caroline, hey, so who's getting heavy cream for your coffee? Because that's when I met Caroline. She was a runner at the game.
Volunteer.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so weird.
Yeah. But I mean, now she's like programming and coaching one of the contenders, I'd say now after this.
Dude.
I'm putting Jeff in my top 5 contenders for a podium position.
Oh yeah. Right, he looked amazing this weekend.
He did look amazing.
Amazing.
All right. The final event that we have to talk about, this long chipper, so I have to scroll because the screen is so damn small. Maybe I can. You guys want me? All right. 25-20 cal echo bike, 200 double unders, 100-foot handstand walk, 100 wall ball shots, 100 GHD sit-ups, 100-foot handstand walk, 200 double unders, 25 and 20 cal echo bike. Fantastic.
I like it.
Fantastic. Like the double unders mattered. That's a shit ton of double unders, but at the appropriate volume, if you want to test athletes in this kind of like 50 double unders is not going to do it.
No,
right? It's not going to cut it anymore. The distance on the handstand walks that these guys had to travel, the number of wall ball shots, the number of GHD sit-ups is great. Really great. And then the end on the bike is just a dick move. Especially at 25. If it was like 50, you're like, okay, I can get through it. Like 25, it's only 25. 25. So
yeah, this is they did a great job. I think, and I'm not even a fan of double unders really, but I think as far as a chipper goes, this is one of my favorite chippers.
Yeah. Seen some great ones already.
Yeah.
Like, there's 3 chippers this whole weekend that were great in all
Yeah.
3. So, all right. All that being said, now that we have better looked at the Atlas Games programming as a whole and watch it unfold in person, what did I give? I gave Copa Sur 1.5, Strength and Depth 1.25. Were you 1 3/4, 1.25?
I was 1 3/4, 1 1/4.
Oh. Man, let me look at these again.
You're so funny. Gut feeling, man. Gut reaction. Come on now.
I'm gonna give this one 1 3/4. I think this is the best one of the weekend. There's no fixes I have for it. And if I'm gonna knock a quarter off for Copa Sur because of a little weight thing and some double under thing, I don't have any of these here. I don't, especially after watching it. I think this might be the best one of the weekend.
I'll say 1 3/4. I agree with that. I even though I'm giving this the same as Copa Sur, I think that Copa Sur's were minor adjustments.
Yeah.
Um,
Minor.
I don't think I could give. I don't think I could give any of them a 2 thumb because of I didn't
No.
really like the standardized events. I didn't like how they were. I mean, the strength fine, the rope. I'm just. I
That's
mean,
not
we
their
were talking
fault.
about the rope thing, but other than that, I like the like this particular programming that they did. I felt like they programmed. Like we want to find the right test to get the right people, and they took time to do that. It wasn't they just put stuff out there.
Yeah.
I loved the weights that they had. I loved the level of difficulty that they put at the athletes. I love the time frames that they put up there to force the athletes into doing. They had to race at certain levels, or they couldn't. Like, they couldn't just like pace, and kind of like, oh, okay, I know I'll finish, but like, where am I going to finish, kind of thing. They did a great job. Super fun, and I love the results. I'm I'm
Yeah.
I'm really happy with how those guys finished, because I think the world just I mean, not that I didn't think that Pat wasn't gonna do well. I thought for sure he would do well, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, I think that the fact that Jeff beat Pat, we've seen that kind of float back and forth on between those 2 guys on the open, and,
Mhm.
other different, but, like, even though we did, it was always like, "Yeah, but it's Pat, so he's not gonna beat Pat."
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. And Emma, 17 years old,
Man.
as put together as she is as an athlete, unreal. Unreal.
Yeah.
So, I loved it. The program was great. The way it was set up was great. The races were great. The outcomes were amazing. Nice job.
Oh, it was awesome. Great weekend. Is
Yeah.
this the best weekend? Top to bottom across all 3? I mean, I feel like this is our best reviews
I'll
of all
say
3.
yes, not just because of the programming, but because of the stories that were there too. There were a lot of really great stories that happened this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot. I mean, plus stuff, negative stuff, I mean, whatever, but there was a lot of good, very, very good stuff to talk about. This, Sam and, Dan Huran and those
Great
guys.
stories.
And
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of really, really good stories.
So Ed says he won't podium at the games. So I have a theory. On Jeff's performance this weekend. Do I think he's peaking for Atlas Games? No. Do I think Vellner was? No, I don't. But we got to keep in mind that this is Jeff Adler's very first in-person qualification event ever. And Jeff is a notorious online superstar and
In-person bomb.
in-person, yeah, bomb.
Yeah.
Now you take Jeff, who has been working his weaknesses for almost 2 years now, see it pay off like this. What does that do for his confidence and psyche going into the CrossFit Games? And the reason why I think he should be in the conversation for a podium position is that there's something to be said with the skepticism of your training and now seeing it unfold on the competition floor. Not unlike, and I'm not comparing these two as individuals, just a scenario, Tia Toomey getting her head screwed on straight and what that's done for her. Right?
Jeff is never had confidence in himself, ever. Like that's every time we saw him at the games, it was the same conversation. Like he would do well in the events that he's supposed to do well in, but if push came to shove, he just didn't seem to believe in himself enough. And it's always easier to believe in yourself when you're at your home gym, you got your own group, you got your own music on, you got your coach right there, you got your chalk in the right place, you have all the pieces that are set up for you to be as confident and comfortable as possible.
Mm-hmm.
What we saw this weekend was Jeff now knows he can, and that is not like, you know, in your head, I think I can. He just did. And his interview with Arsenault, with Mike Arsenault. So what was the difference that you thought? I thought I could win. I won. I was like, hell yeah, that's what we're talking about.
This guy.
Yeah.
Ed, to your comment, yes, he didn't believe in himself because he told us in person that he was there just to get fifth.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Ed. Are you sure you're not Rich's other cousin? Just and yes, he said that comment, but he's asking other people to do it. So Adler's got some dog in him. And now that he has the confidence to unleash that, and before it's like, if you look at Tia in 2016 and who that was, you would look at someone who would either never make the games again or never podium again. With her attitude and mindset.
Too.
Go back and watch the documentary. It was a effing mess. And one flip of the script in attitude, confidence, like she didn't turn into a different human being. Then she saw it working. And now what does that do? And so I'm saying I'm curious to see if this is the catalyst for a completely different Jeff Adler. Just based off that. We've seen it before. I think he's in the conversation. Like I said, top 5 conversation of people capable of podium at the CrossFit Games.
It's just deadly when a good athlete has a positive self-belief, because a lot of athletes don't. There's a lot of really good athletes out there that they win off of natural ability until they're forced to have to compete.
Right.
And because for whatever reason, they don't have the upbringing, they never really got pushed when they were younger. They haven't had that competitive pressure. They don't know how to push through that. So I hope that like he finally has a couple hash marks in his, no, I am supposed to be, I am able to do this. Honestly, I think, I mean, I feel bad saying this about Chandler Smith, but I feel he's kind of that same way. Like that dude has got all of the pieces.
Oh, he for sure is that same way.
But he does not have.
No. Like that's his biggest problem. Like the dude is one of the most physically gifted specimens I have ever seen.
Yeah.
And just upstairs.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah.
So
anyway, we'll see.
Awesome weekend.
We'll see.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Weekend. We'll see. Oh, all right. Well, thank you guys for joining us today. That was super fun. On to the last chance qualifier. Ooh, man. The amount of athletes that are in that pool is absurd. The only problem with that is that I have to go to Morning Chalk Up and figure out who's in it because the game's website is such a effing disaster.
I think that they should make Hiller the lead judge for all the videos. I mean, he's going to do it anyway, so might as well just put him on there and see what happens.
Yeah.
I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
We have 3 people that have qualified because everyone got DNF.
Like, how did Katrin get disqualified before the event even started?
remnants from the semifinals is what it was.
Yes. Yes. Yes, we'll see. Now, I can't wait. I think that is going to be the most intense programming podcast we'll ever do.
It all depends on what the programming is.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it needs to be.
The amount of pressure that is on, and if they don't feel it, need to understand, you have to get that right. Not kind of right or sort of right, because it's 2. It's 2 in a field that is the most deep, tight-packed, physically talented skill pool of the season, other than the CrossFit Games.
It almost has to be that the thumb tape review, it's either a 2 or a 0.
Oh, well.
I mean, almost.
Well, yeah, and the hard part is because it's only 2. If it was 5, you have a little bit more leeway. Was it perfect? No, but we got 5 there, right? But 2, man, I hope they're ready.
I know. Serious.
Because if it's anything like last year, no.
No.
Last year was so bad. And that was Dave's.
Yeah.
With it, maybe a hand with other people in there. Like last year's, like, just pick the last event, as we said. And 3 of the 4,
they'll do that.
4 that got first and second in there went to the games. Like, oh wow, look at that.
They'll go, okay, guys, this is going to be a community effort. You guys pick the workouts, design them yourself. Like, I could totally see that happening.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us today. Super fun. Thank you guys for all the comments and the fun messages. I think I didn't mean to click that. Sorry. What am I doing? All right. Best weekend. Throw it out there. Top to bottom, event to event, all 3. Yeah. That was the best one, which is really funny because my initial one is like, oh, this is going to be terrible. The one that had the most reaction of people on paper, like they're showing me text messages. This is at Granite Games and they're releasing him, and all the other athletes. I'm like, actually, this is one of the best ones. Atlas Games, shout out. I apologize for the things I said behind closed doors. Ed, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate that. I'm glad we helped pass the time. Don't get fired. Don't get fired by listening to us.
That's right.
And if you do, blame it on Bill. All right, guys. Have a great Wednesday. We sincerely appreciate each and every one of you, and we can't wait to be back. Till then, see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.